The prisoner hadn't moved in 72 hours. Captain Velenear observed the human through the containment field, increasingly unnerved by the stillness. When they'd captured Lieutenant James Park during the raid on the diplomatic vessel, he'd expected threats, bargaining, perhaps begging. Every other species did. Instead, Park sat cross-legged on the cell floor, eyes closed, breathing so slowly the medical scanners occasionally flagged him as deceased. The human hadn't eaten the provided food, hadn't touched the water, hadn't even acknowledged his captor's existence. Perhaps their minds break easily, Subcommander Thex suggested, his scales shifting to a confident purple. The Deathworlder mythology is clearly exaggerated. Velenear wasn't convinced. Something about the human stillness felt wrong, not broken but coiled. Waiting. On the fourth day, they brought in the other prisoners from the diplomatic vessel. 3 Altarians, 2 Korsathi, and the human ambassador's daughter, a child no more than 12 Earth years. They lined them up outside Park's cell, weapons obvious. Your cooperation for their lives, Velenear announced. The location of Earth's new jump gate codes. Park's eyes opened for the first time since his capture. He looked at each prisoner, his gaze lingering on the young girl who was trying very hard not to cry. Then his eyes moved to each guard, each camera, each ventilation grate. His head tilted slightly, as if listening to something no one else could hear. Finally, he stood, walked to the containment field, and whispered so softly the translators almost missed it. "You're all dead." Thex laughed, a harsh barking sound. Empty threats from a caged animal. Park smiled then, a small, sad expression that made Velenear's stomachs clench. Not a threat, a statement of fact. You've been dead for 3 days. You just don't know it yet. Execute the Korsathi, Velenear ordered, hoping to break whatever delusion the human was under. 17, Park said quietly. The guard's weapon fired. The Korsathi fell. 16, Park continued. Your ship has a crew of 431, but only 16 of you were involved in this decision. The captain, the subcommander, for bridge officers, 10 guards. 16 war crimes. 16 confirmations. What are you talking about? Velenear demanded. Park tapped his temple. Neural implant. Standard issue for human diplomatic security. Everything I see, Earth sees. Everything I hear, Earth hears. They watched you capture me. They watched you threaten civilians. They watched you execute a prisoner. He paused. They've been watching for 4 days. The bridge erupted in alarms. Sir! The communications officer screeched. Jump signatures detected. Hundreds of, no, thousands of. The view screen filled with ships. Not a fleet. Not an armada. Every human vessel within 1,000 light-years had arrived simultaneously. Cargo haulers, mining vessels, scientific explorers, military dreadnoughts, even private yachts. They emerged from jump space in perfect synchronization, a wall of humanity surrounding the lone pirate vessel. You see, Park continued, his voice never rising above a whisper. Humans have a saying, touch one, face all. You didn't just capture me. You captured someone watching over a child. You executed beings under human protection. You did it while I transmitted everything directly to Earth Strategic Command. Velenear's scales had gone white. We can negotiate. No, Park interrupted. Negotiation was before you pulled the trigger. Now there's just physics. Physics. The amount of energy 4,000 human ships can direct at a single point in space. Park glanced at his wrist, though he wore no timepiece. I'd say you have about 40 seconds before they demonstrate. Release them all, Velenear screamed. Open all cells. Stand down weapons. The containment fields dropped. The prisoners ran. Park didn't move. Please, Velenear begged. We've released everyone. Tell them to stop. Park shook his head slowly. I said you were dead 3 days ago. When you took that child, when you made her watch you threaten others, that's when every human in the galaxy decided your fate. I was just being polite, letting you know. The human finally walked out of the cell, pausing at the doorway. "For what it's worth," he said without turning back. "I spent 3 days in meditation trying to find a way to save you, but humans have evolved beyond many things. Mercy for those who threaten children isn't one of them." The first railgun rounds arrived 20 seconds later. The last thing Velinar heard was Park gathering the young girl into his arms, whispering, "Close your eyes, little one. The monsters are going away now." 16 individuals had made the decision to take hostages. 4,000 ships made sure no one would ever make that mistake again.